Hi guys, Chef Kevin Belton here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Now, today is actually Crepes Suzette Day. Now, this is a dessert that was originated in France. You know, the name came from so many different places. There's so many different stories about how it got its name. But I am going to put a Louisiana twist on it today. Because normally, Crepes Suzette was done with an orange liqueur like a Cointreau or a Grand Marnier to have that orange flavor with a little cognac in it. But I found some Louisiana rum. This is a Satsuma rum. So we're gonna do a Crepes Suzette with a little bit of a Satsuma flavor. So in my bowl for my crepes, now, if you ever wonder what a crepe is nothing but a pancake. What I started with was egg, flour, and milk. Then I thinned it out with a little water. I put a little melted butter in here and a little bit of oil. And that helps keeps it from sticking to the pan. But see how liquidy that is? And it's nice and smooth. And I just whisk this by hand. So I started with my egg and the flour. You know, pinch of sugar, pinch of salt. Started that working, then got into milk. Now, I did put in a little vegetable oil and a little butter in here. Now, something else we're going to do, we're going to fill our crepes. The filling, I have butter, I have a little sugar, I have some orange zest. Now, if you have some Satsumas, go ahead and use a Satsuma and get the Satsuma zest. But I use a navel orange and a little orange juice, okay? I had some Satsumas, but I used them up for everything else, so I went with the orange, all right? So, in my pan, just brush it with a little bit of butter. All right, and the thing about crepes, we don't need much in the pan, so we want to put a little bit in the pan, and then turn your pan. Turn your pan so it goes all around. Here, let's get a little more in right around the edges. All right. Now, crepes don't take very long to cook. They only take a couple of minutes on one side. They'll get little brown spots, and then the edges will pop up. When you see the edges kind of curl up, that's when they're ready to be turned over. The second side only takes about 10 seconds. So once we make our crepes, then we're going to go ahead and get them filled. So you see, it's important to do this in a non-stick pan. And that little bit of oil and butter in here helps it from sticking to the pan. That's why I also brush it with a little bit of butter. Now, if you get good at it, you know, when this starts to get firm, you can slide it and give it a flip if you want. But you can also just take some tongs and flip it over. And you see how it browned off a little bit on this back side? That's all we want. And once I get my crepes made, I'm gonna just stack them here on the plate and we'll cream this together, then we'll get them filled. Now, okay, if you notice, I didn't do this in a food processor. I just did it right here in our bowl with our sugar, our zest, and I started adding that orange juice to it with our butter. And now that our crepes are made, I'm gonna take our crepe, I'm gonna put a little filling inside of our crepe, all right? And basically you just wanna fold it over once, fold it over again, and what I have here, I've buttered my pan, and basically I've sprinkled it with a little sugar. That's what I've done here. Because what we're going to do, we're going to fill them, set them on the tray, and see, I just want to overlap them just a little bit, and we'll drizzle a little more sugar on the top, and that way they caramelize. And I tell you what, they're going to be so tasty, so tasty. Now they're all filmed and lined up. So I'm gonna take a little more sugar and just sprinkle right on the top. This sugar on the top is gonna caramelize. And that's why I have the broiler on. I have the broiler on high and I just have them rack at medium. I don't have it all the way up. Now, this is going to take 2 to 3 minutes. We just want it to caramelize. Then I'll show you how we're going to serve it and finish it off with our Satsuma rum. Guys, I've taken my crepes out of the oven. Remember, we had them under the broiler just for a few minutes for them to caramelize a little bit. Now, this is the part where you can flame it or not flame it, okay? So what I've used here is our Satsuma run in the pan. If you want to go traditional, you can put Grand Marnier with like a 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier, a little splash of cognac in it, all right? And flame that. Now, be careful when things flame. This also has a different taste. You don't have to flame it, but you do want it to heat up because it gives it a different taste once it's hot, once it boils a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and flame this for you. So you wanna make sure it's hot, okay? And make sure you use something to light it with and just kind of stand back. So, as you see, it's boiling. And now, it just has to be really hot for that flame. But that's all we want. We just want that little bit. That little bit of alcohol helps burn off. So now, we can just pour this right over our crepes. All right, I tell you what, that is starting to look so good. Now that the lights are back on, to finish this off, a little bit of powdered sugar. How about that? So there we have our version of Crepes Suzette, but with that Louisiana twist by using a little Satsuma rum on it. Rum, all right? So I tell you what, try it. I think you like it. It's a really neat dessert. And guess what? Once you learn how to make crepes, you can do a lot of things with them. Keep washing those hands. Keep massing up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. For WWL TV, I'm Chef Kevin Belton, and we'll see you soon.